Hi everyone, I'm Jeannie Let's get zebra strong. Today we're talking baseline, finding your baseline. So what do I mean by that? So we know that exercise is great for hypermobility and EDS. It helps improve our muscle tone, it helps reduce pain and fatigue. So we know that. But what happens when we do too much and then maybe we do 20 reps of an exercise and then we get a flare up? So how do we know if it was 20 reps that caused the flare up, 10 reps that caused the flare up, or 2 reps that caused the flare up? So what we need to learn to do and to manage in our own bodies is, what's my baseline? So can I do 20 reps? Doesn't matter if I can't do 20 reps when I start out. If I can only do 2 reps, that's what I need to do. Because if I persist and keep attempting to do 20 reps of an exercise, maybe I've been told to go home and do these exercises and I push through them even though they hurt. I've been told to do 20 reps, so I'm going to do 20 reps. The problem is we get into this vicious cycle because I keep doing the 20 reps, I keep getting the flare-ups, my body's not happy, I start to get anxious and worried about doing the exercise, and probably I'll stop doing the exercises altogether because the whole thing isn't a positive movement experience. So what we want to create is a positive movement experience. That way my body's happy and my mind is happy, because if your mind is worried and not sure that the exercises are right, or if they're working, or if it's too much, or if it's too strenuous, all of these thoughts going through your head, if that's going on, your body's not going to be on board anyway. You're going to have muscular tension, you're going to feel anxiety and stress, and typically, as I say, we end up not doing them at all. And what is important is to do some kind of exercise, but it needs to be appropriate for you. And you're going to be the best judge of that. So what is your baseline? So we're going to do a little exercise today to help us kind of talk about that a bit more. You could try this at home. But don't worry and don't feel bad if your baseline is 1 or 2 reps. I've been there. I've been in that situation where I could only do 1 rep while other people were doing 20. But I gradually built up over time until my muscle tone and my body was happy to increase the number of reps of an exercise I was doing. Same goes for walking. If you like to walk, or you like to go on an exercise bike, or you like to swim, all of those things, build it up. So don't feel the pressure to perform and compete with other people. It's all about you and what's right for you. So let's start with an exercise that's quite common, and you've probably seen it before, a bridging pattern. Okay, so you need to lie on your mat. Again, if it's not right for you, then do what feels good for you. Don't feel pressure to do, again, loads of reps or do what I'm doing. So typically in a bridge, we settle down, and this is the exercise where we're going to be lifting the pelvis up off the floor into this bridge position. Now, settle yourself in. Let your head feel heavy into the mat and start to pay attention to the weight of your feet. Now, for a full bridge, we would stand into our feet. The pelvis would start to lift. So I'm not squeezing my bottom. I'm not doing anything like that. I'm focusing on the weight of my feet lifting me up. Now, if I was going to do a full bridge, we would end up somewhere like this, where my pelvis is higher than my shoulders. My shoulders, the weight is dropping through my shoulders, and my feet are supporting my pelvis. We take a breath in and we roll ourselves back down. Softening the chest, softening the waist, allowing the glutes to relax so that your pelvis lands heavy on the floor. So that was a full bridge. But what if I can't yet do a full bridge? Does that matter? No, not at all. You start. So maybe we start with just finding the weight into our feet and letting the pelvis roll a little bit so it starts to feel like it's going to come off the floor. So literally, I'm maybe hovering 2 millimeters off the ground, and then I release my feet and the pelvis rolls back down and I rest. Okay, so I could start like that, just starting to wake up the legs, feeling that gentle lift around the pelvis, the relationship between my feet and my pelvis, and then I roll back down. Then maybe over time, I could start to lift a little higher. So maybe now I'm like an inch off the floor and I roll back down. By the way, this is a great exercise as well, just for leg strength. So you don't even have to do the full bridge because you're still getting a lot of work into your legs, which is fantastic. And then, as I say, you can gradually build yourself up to getting higher each time. And of course, there you're graduating an exercise and increasing the intensity of it. But you may find that initially you could only do one of those pelvic lifts. And that's great. You've done one. That's brilliant. Do one for a week or two. Check there's no flare up, no pain. And then maybe add 2 reps. Do the same thing. Go a couple of weeks on 2 reps. If that feels good, I might increase to 4 reps and so on until you find a way and a feeling that feels good for you. Okay, so you're not being imposed upon and told you have to do this amount of exercise. You do what feels right for you. And that is the way to build a strong, resilient body that is accepting of exercise rather than fearful of it. So I hope that was useful. Thank you for listening. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, stay zebra strong.